Good afternoon. This is cause number 2022-47253. In the interest of Kaylin, Kaylee, Raylan, and Randy Charles. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, ma'am. Please state your name and your relationship to the children.
Carla Tappan, and I'm the mother.
All right. And representing the Attorney General, State of Texas.
Andrea Eoff.
Court will note that the non-custodial parent is Dwayne Charles. Mr. Charles was personally served on September 16th, 2022 at 10:39 a.m. at 1101 South 7th Street, apartment 218 in Conroe, Montgomery County, Texas. And he has not filed an answer or made an appearance. Is that correct, Ms. Theo?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Right. We'll proceed by default.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'd like to call LaCarla Tatman.
Okay.
Ms. Tatman, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Will you please state your full name for the record?
Carla Tappan.
And will you state the names and ages of your children?
Sure. Kaylin Charles, 11. Kaylee Charles, 10. And Randy and Raylan Charles, 4.
All right. And Dwayne Charles is the father of all 4 of your children. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you ever alleged that someone else could be the father of any of your children?
No.
Would you like for the court to adjudicate him as their father and establish the parent-child relationship between him and all 4 kids today?
Yes.
All right. You and Mr. Charles separated in May of 2019. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in the time since you guys have separated, has he communicated with you or attempted to co-parent with you at all?
No.
And in that time, he's only seen the children once, and that was around 2 years ago. Is that right?
Yes.
So since you've been raising these kids on your own this whole time, do you believe it would be in their best interest if you were appointed as the sole managing conservator for your children and Mr. Charles was designated as a possessory conservator?
Yes.
And would you like to be designated as the managing conservator who designates their primary residence within Harris County and counties that touch Harris County?
Yes.
All right. I'd like Mr. Charles to have a phased visitation schedule so he can work on building a relationship with his children. I'll rephrase my question. Okay, there we go. All right. So you and I had a chance to talk about a visitation schedule earlier. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I'm going to read out to you what I believe you want, and I just need you to confirm for the court that this is how you want the visitation to go. Would you like for Mr. Charles to start with 10 visits from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the first, third, and fifth Saturdays of each month, followed by 10 day visits from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the first, third, and fifth Saturdays, followed by 10 overnight visits from 10 a.m. on the first, third, and fifth Saturday of the month to 6 p.m. on the following Sunday, followed by 10 weekend visits that would start at 6 p.m. on the first, third, and fifth Friday of the month and continue until 6 p.m. on the following Sunday. Is that how you would like those phases to work?
Yes.
And then if Mr. Charles completes all of those phases we just talked about, would you like for him to then have a standard possession order for visitation?
Yes.
All right. How are your children currently covered for health insurance?
Through Medicaid.
And would you like for the court to order you to continue providing that Medicaid?
Yes.
And would you like for the court to order Mr. Charles to pay $101 a month in cash medical support beginning January 1st, 2023?
Yes.
All right. And you do not know what Mr. Charles currently does for a living. Is that right?
Yes,
And
that's correct.
you understand that if we don't have evidence of income, we use what's called the minimum wage presumption for establishing child support.
Yes,
So in this case, would you like for the court to use that minimum wage presumption and set child support the amount of $365 a month beginning January 1st, 2023?
yes,
All right. And since you and Mr. Charles separated back in 2019, has he given you any money to help support the children?
no,
Would you like for the court to take a judgment against him for back child support in the amount of $15,600 for the time period between June 1st, 2019 to today, and have him ordered to pay that at $128 a month beginning January 1st, 2023?
yes,
All right. And are you comfortable having your phone number and address printed in this order and Mr. Charles having that information?
yes,
All right. If the court were to enter an order that contains all the terms that I just talked about with you, do you believe that order would be in your children's best interest?
yes.
All right. I have other questions and pass this witness, Your Honor.
All right, the court will approve the order as submitted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is cause number 2022-17315 in the interest of Demaya, Dylan, and Daryl Gaines, all parties and witnesses. Please raise your right hands to be sworn and unmute yourselves. All right. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, ma'am. Please state your name and your relationship to the children.
Brianna Hamilton, and I'm their mother.
All right. And representing the Attorney General, State of Texas.
Luis Regla.
Court will note that Dylan Greg Gaines is the non-custodial parent. He was personally served under Rule 106 on September 12th, 2022 at 2:44 p.m. at his usual place of residence, and he has not filed an answer or made an appearance. Is that correct, Mr. Regla?
That's correct, Judge.
Then we'll proceed by default.
Thank you, Judge. I'll call the mother as the witness in this case.
All right.
Okay, ma'am. So in this case, you and the father have 3 children together. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. Of the 3 kids, there was a paperwork that was signed when Dylan and Demaya and Daryl were born, where the father admitted he was the father of both of those kids. Is that correct?
yes,
Okay, for Dylan, we don't have that paperwork. So today we're asking the court to make a finding that he is the true biological father of Dylan. Do you agree with that?
yes,
And have you ever alleged anyone else could possibly be the father of Dylan?
no,
And in fact, is Mr. Gaines the true biological father of Dylan?
yes,
And have you ever been married to anybody else?
no,
Okay. And there is no request to change their last names, correct? They're going to stay Gaines the way they are already.
yes,
Okay, going forward, are you fine being appointed as joint managing conservator with the father, but for you to have an exclusive right to determine where the kids live in Harris and surrounding counties? Would you agree with that?
yes,
And you're fine with the father getting the standard schedule of visits, first, third, and fifth weekends, apart from Thursdays?
yes,
Okay, and today we don't have proof of the father's income, correct?
correct.
So for the current child support, we're proposing to at least use minimum wage for the 3 children the father has with you, taking into account that he has two other children in a separate court order in another family, correct?
Correct.
And there is no private health insurance today, is that right?
No.
Okay, so after taking into account the kids that you have with this man and the other two children, normal guideline percentage for child support would be 25.2%. You agree with that?
Yes.
Now, your kids are on Medicaid, correct?
Correct.
Using that same minimum wage presumption for his income, would you agree with the state and the request for the father to be ordered to pay $68 a month beginning January 1st, 2023 towards Medicaid?
Yes.
And applying child support guidelines, that would leave a remaining child support for the three kids of $271 to begin January 1st, 2023. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Now, you are requesting retroactive child support, correct?
Correct.
Okay, the father has had an income, and this is going back to March of 2018. From March 2018 through today's court date, the father's income has fluctuated where he's worked and how much money he's made over those 4 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
And using the information we've been able to verify directly from his employer and taking into account the child support guidelines in this case, do you agree with the state that the court should order Mr. Gaines to pay a judgment of retroactive child support of $24,465 with a monthly payment of $179 a month to begin January 1st, 2023?
Yes.
In that time frame, has the father given you money for child support?
No.
Have the kids ever stayed with him for very long?
No.
Does he visit the kids?
Yeah.
Okay. They just don't stay with him for long periods of time, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And do you agree that today's court order is in the best interest of your kids?
Yes.
You're asking the court to grant this default order against Mr. Gaines?
Correct.
Judge, I'll pass this witness.
All right, the court will approve the order submitted. Thank you.
Thank you,
Excuse.
Judge. Thank you, Ms. Hamilton. You're excused. You can disconnect whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Okay.
You're doing the Casedo
Yes, Judge.
matter? Miss Duffy, where is Miss Duffy?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
she's on.
here.
She's there by phone. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. This is cause number 2008-14434 in the interests of Cortland and Davion Casedo. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the children.
Candace Duffy, and I'm their mom.
All right, and representing the state of Texas Attorney General's office.
Luis Regla.
Court will note that the non-custodial parent is Gregory Casedo. Mr. Casedo was served under Rule 106 on September 17, 2022 at 8:52 a.m. at 5526A Farley Drive in Houston, Harris County, Texas. And he's not filed an answer or made an appearance. Is that correct, Mr. Regla?
That's correct, Judge.
We'll proceed by default.
Thank you, Judge. And I believe you should also have Exhibit A, the financial activity report in this case. I ask that Exhibit A be admitted, Judge.
I'll mark it as states Exhibit A.
Thank you, Judge.
Miss Duffy, have you had an opportunity to look at this pay record?
Yes.
And
I looked at it.
all right. Do you have any objections of it being admitted into evidence?
No, I'm okay with it.
All right, State's Exhibit A is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. I'll call the mother as a witness now.
Okay.
Ma'am, when the first court order was done in this case, back in March of 2008, you and the father only had one child together, Cortland, is that correct?
You said March? Yes, yeah, but I was pregnant, so yeah, one child.
Okay, so today we are now adding the new child, Davion Ortel Caicedo, to the original case, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and when did you let the father know that you and he were gonna have Davion as a new baby?
Um, when I found out I was pregnant with him.
Did y'all used to live together back then?
Yes.
Okay, and you've since separated, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so today, going forward, are you requesting that the court make a finding that Mr. Gregory Caicedo is the true biological father of Davion?
Yes.
Have you ever alleged anyone else could possibly be the father of Davion?
No.
Have you ever been married to anyone?
No.
And in fact, is Gregory Caicedo the biological father of Davion?
Yes.
And going forward, you're requesting that the court also appoint you and the father joint managing conservators of Davion, just like we already did for Cortland. Is that correct?
Yes.
And to use a standard possession order for Davion, just like we did for Cortland. Is that also true?
Yes.
And would you agree with the state that the court should make a finding that the father is behind in his child support in the amount of $44,318.65 as of yesterday?
Yes.
And you're requesting retroactive child support, correct?
Yes.
Entirely based on minimum wage, only for the additional percentage that it is for Davion, using guideline child support, that would be approximately $2,688 for Davion. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, so we combine those two, that would be a total cumulative child support judgment of $47,006.65, with the request that the court order Mr. Caicedo to pay $285 per month to begin January 1st, 2023. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Similarly, on medical support, the father is behind on his medical support in the amount of $10,040.89, also as of yesterday. And there is no request for retroactive medical, so we're asking for a judgment of $10,040.89 towards medical support, with the $100 payout also to begin January 1st, 2023. You agree with all that?
Yes.
And today we don't have proof of the father's income, correct?
Correct.
So similarly, for the retroactive support going forward, we're also requesting the court to at least grant support based on minimum wage going forward. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And apart from the two children that you have with Mr. Gregory Caicedo, he has one residing in his home and one other child that he's ordered to pay child support and medical support for. Is that correct?
Yes.
That would mean the guideline child support percentage, according to the state guidelines, would be about 20.63% going forward for child support. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Your kids are on Medicaid, correct?
Yes.
You
Correct.
agree with the state that the father should be ordered to pay $57 a month, also to begin January 1st, 2023 towards the Medicaid?
Correct.
And that would leave, using the child support percentage we discussed earlier, that would be a child support of $224 a month, also to begin January 1st, 2023 for both of your kids. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
And do you believe today's court order is in the best interest of your kids?
Yes, sir.
And you're asking the court to grant today's default order against Mr. Gregory Caicedo?
Yes.
Judge, I'll pass this witness.
All right, the court will approve the order submitted. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, ma'am. You can disconnect whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have the Gonzalez case with Marcos Rees and Haiti Rees. Correct? You handling that, Mr. Regla?
I'm handling the Ruiz case. Yes, Judge.
All
What,
right,
Marcos and Haiti Ruiz?
all right. There's Mr. Please unmute yourself, Mr. Rees. All right. This is call number 2022-26971 in the interest of Joel and Jeremy Gonzalez. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hands to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the children.
I am Heidi Reese, and I'm the mother of the children.
All right, sir, your name and your relationship to the children.
Marco Ruiz, and I am the dad of Jeremy and Joel.
All right, and representing State of Texas Attorney General's office.
Luis Regla.
We've got a petition to establish a parent-child relationship. We're having a hearing, Mr. Regla.
Yes, Judge.
Do we have some stipulations?
Yes, we do, Judge.
All right, let's read those into the record.
The parties have agreed for joint managing conservatorship. Parties have agreed for a standard possession order. The Medicaid will be in place. That the father will be ordered to pay $275 towards current child support, $78 towards medical support. There is no need for non-disclosure. And Judge, I don't have a clear answer on if there's a request for name change. So I'll go over that with the parties. And then the contested issue is how much credit to give the father towards the retroactive child support balance. That's the main issue, is the child support balance.
Okay, so far, is this your understanding, Ms. Reese?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So far, Mr. Reese, is this your understanding of the agreements?
Correct.
All right. Go ahead,
Is-
Mr.
Thank you, Judge. First, I'd like to address the issue of the last name of the children. I'll begin with the father, Mr. Ruiz. Currently, the children's last names are Gonzalez, correct?
Correct.
And they're twins born June 30th, 2006, right? Twin boys.
That is correct.
Are you requesting a name change from Gonzalez to your last name, Ruiz?
Yes.
Okay, is this something that you and the mother have spoken about in the past?
We sort of, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a discussion about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Judge, reserve this witness for a bit if I can switch to the mother just on this topic alone.
Well, is this your agreement, Ms. Reese, also?
I'm sorry.
Is this your agreement also to change the child's names to the
Yeah,
father?
actually, it's been for years. I've been wanting them to have their dad's last name for years, but he hasn't taken no initiation. So yes, I want them to carry the last name.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, great. So that's a stipulation. too.
We'll take that as a stipulation.
Okay, thank you, Judge. So then let's go to the remaining issue of retroactive support. Mr. Ruiz, you had a chance to go over the current, the balance of retroactive child support between you and the mother, correct?
Correct.
So right now, you're requesting first credit towards the original balance of $13,200. Take off about $1,000 for money you've sent the mother. Is that right?
Yeah, the recent information that I had sent, that's what it shows. But
Okay.
go ahead.
It's about $1,000 so far, right?
Yes.
So as far as that much, the mother has agreed to. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay, but so the remaining balance, $12,200, and again, this is all based on minimum wage, correct? $12,200.
Correct.
Of the $12,200, you don't believe you should be ordered to pay that either, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, can you tell the court, what have you been doing for the family during those 4 years that you believe equals $12,200?
Right. So I have always been present in my kids' life. I have bought them clothes every time they, is
Okay.
a new year. Buying
Let's
clothes.
Let's go in those one at a time. When you see the kids, how often do you spend time with them?
I see them every day. mostly every day, because one of my sons, he's disabled, so I have to go every day to get him ready for school. So
What time
yes,
do you usually go over?
in the morning, 5:30 in the morning.
And you send them off to school then?
Yeah, well, they get the bus. The bus goes over to the house and picks them up
From you or from the mom's house?
from the mother's house.
Okay. And what other times of day do you see them in?
I'm sorry.
What other times of day do you see them? Not just in the mornings, but is there other times you see them?
Yeah, it's different times. We work on different schedules. You know, sometimes the mother works, I work, so we try to work the schedule out.
So in these 4 years, you're claiming that you see them every day in the mornings and you help get them ready for their day.
Yes.
Okay. Do you ever give the mother any kind of money for child support, household bills, rent, things like that?
Yes, I do. I have ordered things from Walmart to be delivered at her house. I have paid a light bill. I have given her cash. I also send money out through an application. Um, buy them, shoes that they need, clothes for school.
You pay the mother's light bill for where the children are living?
Not all of the time, but I have like whenever she gets back on it, she gets behind on it, I go ahead and pay online.
And this is in addition to the $1,000 that you're claiming credit. Is that correct?
Right. Yes, it was the $1,000. It was just a recent proof that I was able to provide just in the few hours that we're on the meeting.
Okay. That's yeah. What you're talking about is in addition to the $1,000, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead,
Okay.
Mr.
And do you also hand her cash?
Correct.
You mentioned the applications that you use. That was what that's where the $1,000 came from, correct?
Correct. Yes, that was from the recent information that I gave.
So apart from that application, how much other money do you say you've given the mother over the last 4 years?
I mean, I wouldn't be able to add it all up because it just, $100 here, $50 there, 25 for gas, 30, it just random money that I give, like not a specific number that I give her every week, but it's just, like I said, $20 here, $30 there, $50. Sometimes
Okay,
Okay.
hold on a minute. Mr. Reese, then how am I supposed to have a figure? How am I supposed to decide? If you can't decide, how am I supposed to decide?
Right. Well, I was able to provide the $1,000 just from the few hours that were on the meeting. I would have to go through all my documents and pictures and all the
Okay,
stuff that I provided.
Mr. Reese, I'll ask you again.
Mhm.
How am I to decide what amounts that you've given her if you can't even decide what amounts you've given her? You can't even make an estimate?
Oh, right. So an estimate, I would say monthly, I would say somewhere around
Total,
250.
total, sir.
Right, 250 a month.
No, total. How much money have you contributed in your estimation? Total.
In the past 4 years. Is that your question?
Yes. Well, yes.
I would say about $10,000.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Reagan.
Judge Lopez is witness.
Ms. Ruiz, do you have any questions of Mr. Ruiz?
Yes, sir. The thing is that Mr. Reese hasn't helped me much. He has. He hasn't.
Okay, Ms. Ruiz. Ms. Ruiz, I'm going to let you say something later on, but right now, Mr. Ruiz is on the witness stand, and you can ask him a question. You have any questions for him?
Yes. Where's all the receipts on the help me? Can you provide for that? The 10,000?
Right. I mean, I could gather pictures, receipts. I just didn't have enough time to gather all the information to go through all my pictures, all the because the last information that I provided, it was just from today on to up to September, but I do have more evidence of the money that I have provided to her.
Marcus, I'm just gonna ask you, when have you helped me with rent? Or when have you helped me with rent?
Right. Like I said, I'll need to gather up all that information, because the only information that I provided was from today on to September. So from the last application that I've been sending money to you.
No, you haven't, but okay. You haven't. That's why I wanted to make sure that you know that you haven't really helped out.
You have to ask a question, ma'am. You can't just make statements.
I'm just gonna ask him, I guess, the question on how we gonna have problems because we have child support now?
Well, no,
How-
he's agreed to child support, Ms. Reese. That's not an issue. Okay, right now, the only issue that I'm dealing with is there a retroactive amount that he needs to pay? And if so, how much? Okay. So you can ask him questions about that. You have another question for him?
You say that you helped me with the light bills. How many times have you had in the past for you?
I'm sorry.
How many times have you paid the light bill on the past 4 years?
The light bill, like as far as from my account, maybe once or twice, but I have given you money, cash. So the proof that I can provide that I have paid maybe twice for the light bill, as far as like from my end, from my account, that I can provide a proof of it.
No, well, I'm just gonna ask you, did you know that I have the same receipts that you have on what you have held? He has only add up over 1,000. That's it, nothing else. And it's been from this year that I injured my foot. Besides that, we didn't get help.
Right. I mean, I can provide it with that proof that I have helped you.
Well, I just wanted, there's no more other questions. I just wanted to address them.
I'm
you, Judge.
gonna let you say something in a little while, Ms. Reese, okay? Mr. Regla.
Thank you, Judge. I'll call the mother as a witness now.
All
Ma'am,
right.
is it true that he sees his kids every morning?
No, we do have a disabled child, but he always shows up late. Like Jeremy gets on the bus by 6 o'clock, 6:10, and there's always constantly about his phone not working, or they stay up late, or he didn't. So not every week, no. And just to get him to the house, it's like a big issue. And whenever I do get
To
him,
get who to the house?
Huh?
To
To
get
get
who to the house?
just to get him to come help me take my child back is a challenge. But
Yeah,
no, it's every day.
you mean
It's,
this, man, you're just saying he and him. I don't know who you're talking about.
Mr. Reese. Mr. Reese. Just to get Mr. Reese a full week to help me, it's a very big struggle.
Man, that's not what I asked you. You have to focus on the question that I asked you. Is it true that he sees his kids every day?
No.
How often does he see his kids on a weekly basis in the mornings?
Whenever for maybe about 20 minutes, whenever he takes Jeremy a bath, and just to take him a bath, that's it.
Okay, so I asked you how
The
many times.
question is how often, ma'am? How often?
Maybe if it's a week, sometimes it's 4 days, sometimes it's 3 days, sometimes it's 2 days, always different. It's always different, but it cannot be a full week.
You heard the father talk about buying you extra things and sending them to your house from online. Does he actually do that?
He did this year. He actually, like I said, because of the injury, but he would tell me that he'll buy stuff, but he will not send them. I actually have to constantly ask him again, and it was a challenge again, but not the way he should. He will send, say for instance, he say, I'm gonna send you back, or I'm gonna get you some toilet paper. I mean, it's not that being regular between one toilet paper or stuff like that. It's not often.
What kind of dollar amount do you put on those things that he's been sending to you? Total dollar amount.
I'm sorry.
What total dollar amount do you put on the things you have actually gotten from him?
Well, I have like parking lots, you know, like because his son, like our son gets often sick, parking lots a couple of times. He has brought like white bees and like everything is for the kids, white bees, stuff to soap, you know, detergent, you know, that I have to ask, but not every, like I said, maybe 1 month. And then
Well, my
maybe
question was, what dollar amount do you put on those things?
what amount?
Dollar amount
Maybe $75 or maybe less.
in 4 years?
Well, and no, for everything in 4 years, no, about $1,000.
All right. And has he paid other bills for you?
He just the light, mainly just the light, cause rent, no, like the lights maybe once, or like you say, maybe once or twice, but not the full amount, maybe 100, 110. But we also have a receipt for that. I mean, I have receipts for what he has.
So 2 light bills for about 110?
Yes, like maybe not that much, but yes.
So adding those 2 things up, that's an additional about $1,200.
No, that's including with the 1,000. No, it's not.
What? You're including that in 1,000?
No, I said with that. I already said it's included with that.
All right, Judge, I'll pass this witness.
Mr. Ruiz, do you have any questions of Ms. Ruiz?
No, sir.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Regler?
Nothing further, Judge, I'll pass.
All right, the court awards a retroactive child support judgment in the amount of $10,000 to be paid at the rate of $100 a month beginning January 1st, 2023. All other stipulations are approved.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Can we all be excused?
Yes.
Okay, that's it for today, Mr. Ruiz. And Mr. Ruiz, as far as the hearing goes, you'll be placed into separate rooms to await the draft of the order that you have the option to sign. Maria, can they be placed in separate rooms?
Good afternoon. This is cause number 2021-10306 in the interest of Lynn Davil and Yasleen Lucio.
Yes, sir.
All parties, please raise your right hands to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the children.
Erica Martinez, and I'm their mother.
All right, and representing the Attorney General, State of Texas.
Kavita Sharma for the state, Your Honor.
Court will note that the non-custodial parents, Rodolfo Lucio Jr., Mr. Lucio was served under Rule 106 on September 7th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. at 11955 Parliament Street, apartment 903 in San Antonio, Bexar County, Texas. He's not filed an answer or made an appearance. Is that correct, Ms. Sharma?
Correct, Your Honor.
We'll proceed by default.
Yes, Judge. I would like to call Arnaldo Barrera, please.
All right.
Mr. Barrera, can you please state where you're employed and your position there?
The Office of the Attorney General,
And what is your position?
Child Support Officer.
And what is the nature of your responsibilities as a child support officer?
One of my duties is to calculate child support and retroactive child support.
And have you had special training in compliance with the family code?
Yes, I have.
And have you calculated retroactive support in this matter?
Yes, I have.
Can we start with the dates of the retroactive child support that you've calculated, please?
Yes, the dates are from February 23rd, 2017 to today's date.
And what is your calculations for retroactive child support?
Calculations for the retroactive child support totals $28,758 to be paid off at $194 a month to begin January 1st.
And
How did you arrive at that amount, sir?
I arrived to the amount from his employers and through what the employer was reporting for the time periods and also with minimum wage.
All right.
And Mr. Barrera, can you please state the name of the employers that you used to calculate the retroactive child support?
Yes, it was through an employer of Rango Incorporated for the years and WPM Construction Services.
Okay, and is Mr. Lucio still employed at those either of those employers?
No, at the current moment, he is not. And
did you calculate current child support?
yes, current child support was calculated at a minimum wage presumption.
And was the medical support also calculated at the minimum wage?
Yes.
And how many children were your calculations based on?
It was based on 2 children, giving him credit for 1 additional child.
Thank you, Mr. Barrera. Judge, I pass this witness.
Ms. Martinez, do you have any questions of Mr. Barrera?
No, sir.
All right. May he be excused, Ms. Sharma?
Yes, Your Honor, he can
All
be.
right, you're excused, Mr. Barrera.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Judge, I'd like to call the mother, Miss Erica Martinez, next.
All right.
Miss Martinez, how many children are we here for?
2.
And who is their father?
Rodolfo Lucio.
And how do you know he's the father?
He's on the birth certificate. He signed the birth certificate and he's on the birth certificate of one of them.
Thank you. And the second child that he's not on the birth certificate on, is it possible that anyone else could be the father at the time of conception?
No, ma'am.
And are you asking the court to name Mr. Lucio as the father of both of your children?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking the court to appoint you and Mr. Lucio as joint conservators of the children?
Yes, ma'am.
And who do the kids live with right now?
With me.
And are you asking the court to allow you to maintain their primary residence?
Yes, ma'am.
And how are the children covered under health insurance?
Right now they're on Medicaid.
Okay, and let's go back 1 second, I'm sorry. In regards to joint conservatorship, are you also asking the court to allow Mr. Lucio standard visits?
Yes, he can if he wants them.
Okay, and how old are the children?
17 and 15.
And you understand that Mr. Lucio has one other child that's not a part of this order, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking the court to set current child support, current medical support at $75 a month?
That's fine. Yes, ma'am.
And do you agree to maintain the health insurance for the children?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you also, are you asking the court to set current child support at $240 to begin January 1?
Yes, ma'am.
And from the retroactive time period of February 23rd, 2017 until today, has Mr. Lucio provided any direct financial support for his children?
No, ma'am.
And are you asking the court to take a judgment in the amount of $28,758?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking the court to allow Mr. Lucio to pay toward that judgment in the amount of $194 to begin January 1?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking court costs to be billed to Mr. Lucio?
Yes, ma'am.
And have you reviewed and signed this order today?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Judge, I pass this witness.
All right, the court will approve the order submitted. Thank you.